siguro parang mag-aagawan sila ng power. So, importante yung role ng election. Provide citizens with a mechanism to determine who has the right to govern. Yun ang number 2, which means, parang sinasabi din dito na nanggagaling sa citizens yung power ng hinahalal. And then number 3, allow citizens to select representatives who best reflect the will of the people. So sa kanila nanggagaling, sa citizens nanggagaling yung power to yung dyan kung sino gusto nila based doon sa kanilang needs. So yan ang papel daw ng election. Wala pa tayo sa election observation. So ano daw ba, what is a credible election? Paano mo masasabi na ang isang election ay credible? So this is a definition from the National Democratic Institute. Kinote ko na kasi I really like it. I think it says everything that needs to be said about this question. So the legitimacy of democratic government is established in large measure by genuine elections. And they are much more than what happens on election day. A genuine electoral process requires an open, free election environment in which citizens can participate without fear or obstruction. Political parties, candidates, and the media can operate freely, and then an independent judiciary functions fairly and expeditiously, and electoral authorities operate impartially. Ito basically ang sagot sa tanong na yan. That whole quote. Yan ang ibig sabihin ng isang credible na eleksyon. Pag wala ang isa dyan, pwede mong sabihin na hindi credible na election. So that includes yung pag-operate ng media. So in a country where the media is stifled, pwede mong sabihin na hindi free ang election doon. So ano ba yung mga pwede nating descriptions sa isang credible na election? So dapat inclusive, isa-isa ito ba? Inclusive, transparent, accountable, and competitive. Anong ibig sabihin ng inclusive? So ang isang election ay inclusive, sabi dyan, equal opportunities for all eligible citizens to participate as voters in selecting their representatives and as candidates for election to government. So ibig sabihin yan, lahat ng tao ay pwedeng bumoto, lahat ng qualified citizens ay pwedeng bumoto, at lahat ng qualified citizens ay pwedeng tumakbo sa eleksyon, hindi sila magbabawal. Basta makamit nila or ma-reach nila, ma-meet nila yung minimum na requirement. So according to sa Open Election Data Initiative, ang authorities daw, like for example, COMELEC, should take steps to assess and remove any barriers to the participation of all citizens. So, trabaho ng COMELEC to ensure na lahat ay pwedeng mag-participate sa election. So, this includes removing barriers for traditionally marginalized populations, such as ethnic, religious, or linguistic minorities. Hindi dapat hadlang yun. Women, youth, or elderly citizens, and persons with disabilities. Nakikita naman natin, ang COMELEC naman ay they're exerting effort naman to do that. Reasonable restrictions on participation should be narrow, like a minimum age for voting and standing as an electoral voter. So kung meron mang barrier, siguro dapat yung kagaya ng age lang. It's understandable naman na hindi mo pwedeng patakbo yung 11 years. Pero nakita na po namin sa ibang bansa, bakit may pumuputok 11 years old?
Robin din yung inclusive na sir.
Ano po?
Robin din yung inclusive na election kasi kahit patay.
Ay! Sobra namang inclusive. Okay, ang election should also be transparent. So anong ibig sabihin ng transparent? Lahat ng steps doon sa election, pamula doon sa, remember, pinag-usapan natin kanina, yung election ng 2025, nagsimula yan ng 2022. yung proseso na yan. So lahat ng steps na yun, dapat nababantayan ng mga tao. And stakeholders can independently verify whether the process is conducted honestly and accurately. Hindi ko na po mabasahin. We will have this presentation later today. Accountable. Ano ibig sabihin ng accountable dapat ang eleksyon? Ang ibig sabihin niyan is lahat ng violations sa isang eleksyon dapat may karampatang parusa. At siguro dapat idagdag din natin, dapat talagang napaparusahan. Kasi that's why we have election laws, that's why we have omnibus election code and isang katerba na resolutions ng COMELEC every election. So yun ang ibig sabihin ng accountable. Merong kapantay na parusa yung mga election violations. And then, dapat daw competitive. So citizens have reasonable and equitable opportunities to compete, to be elected to government offices. So pag sinabing competitive, lahat ng mga gustong kumandidato ay dapat merong chance na mag-compete. I'll give you an example. In some places that we have observed elections, merong mga lugar na nagre-reklamo yung ibang kandidato kasi halimbawa sa isang yung capital na city, maraming billboards pero lahat naka-reserve doon sa incumbent. Hindi nila magamit yung ibang kandidato. Merong mga gym, merong mga amphitheater or kung ano pa mang venues, naka-reserve sa incumbent. Hindi sila makapag-reserve for their own campaign activities. So yan ang ibig sabihin ng competitive. Okay, nandito na tayo sa election observation itself. Why is it done? Bakit ba ginagawa? Ano ba yun? Ano ba yung election observation? Bakit ba siya ginagawa at bakit siya mahalaga? Ay, hindi mabasa. Okay, lalapit ako ng konti. So, nilagyan ko ng red kasi dapat pala dito red.
Orange.
So, election observation is a valuable tool to improve the quality of elections. Merong election observation, nagagamit yun to improve elections themselves. Okay, basahin ko na lang ng complete. This is from the United Nations. So election observation is a valuable tool for improving the quality of elections. Observers help build public confidence in the honesty of electoral processes. Observation can help promote and protect the civil and political rights of participants in elections. It can lead to the correction of errors or weak practices even while an election process is still underway. It can deter manipulation and fraud or expose such problems if they do occur. When observers can issue positive reports, it builds trust in the democratic process and enhances the legitimacy of the governments that emerge from elections. Election observation by domestic groups encourages civic involvement in the political process. Following elections, reports and recommendations by observer groups can lead to changes and improvements in national law and practice. Himayin natin ito isa-isa kasi importante itong malaman ninyo. Kahit yung mga dati ng number observers, you need to understand kung bakit importante yung ginagawa ninyo. Okay, election observation is a valuable tool for improving the quality of elections. Bakit? Kasi yung inyong observation na isusulat nyo sa observation forms, yan ang ginagamit ng NAMPREL to form recommendations to the COMELEC. Marami tayong naging recommendations sa COMELEC at maraming tinanggap na recommendations sa COMELEC from NAMPREL. Sa inyo galing yan. Sa observers yung galing. Observers help build public confidence in the honesty of electoral processes. Mahalaga sa maraming tao na may makita silang observer. Kasi parang kampante ang loob nila na nandun yung NAMPREL, nandun yung PPCRB. Kumbaga parang kung meron man silang takot or duda na hindi magiging maganda ang takbo ng eleksyon, nagawawasan yan pag nakikita nila na merong presence of observers. Observation can help promote and protect the civil and political rights of participants in elections. You can say na ang mga election observers, nasa front line tayo ng, we are human rights defenders in a way. Kasi we are protecting our rights to vote, to express ourselves to the ballot. So, our mere presence, kumbaga parang nabubolster itong, napopromote yung pag-protect ng civil and political rights ng ating mga kababayan. It can lead to the correction of errors or weak practices even while an election process is still underway. Example, halimbawa, nasa field na tayo on election day, tapos nakikita natin na merong mga proseso na hindi natin nagustuhan. Nakikita natin na sa isang barangay, sa isang munisipyo, bakit ganito yung sistema. In NAMFREL, usually throughout the course of election day, meron tayong mga press release. Meron tayong mga na-interview ang NAMFREL officer sa TV, sa radyo. Ang nakita namin na effect niyan is mismong, syempre nakakarating sa COMELEC yan. Yung mga sinasabi natin sa media, especially on election day. And even on election day itself, habang nangyayari yun, they can make changes to their procedures to reflect kung ano yung ating gustong mangyari. So na, kumbaga, parang in real time, pwedeng maremedyohan kung may problema. Kaya importante talaga yung reporting. So kung may nangyayari sa inyo na obserbahan nyo, kailangan ibigay yung mga sa amin. Kasi kahit hindi pa tapos ang election, meron pwedeng gawing solusyon ng COMELEC. Of course, it can deter manipulation and fraud or expose such problems if they occur. So when observers can issue positive reports, it builds trust in the democratic process and enhances the legitimacy of the governments. This is very important, lalo na kung international election observation. Halimbawa, may presidential election sa isang bansa. Kapag sinabi ng isang international election observation group, like halimbawa Carter Center or NDI, kagaya nung the latest was Venezuela. So nagkaroon po ng election sa Venezuela, nandoon yung mga election observer groups. Ang sabi nila is na based on our observations, maraming irregularities na nangyari ng election. So hindi namin siya matatawag na free and fair election. Then magkakaroon niya ng effect doon sa legitimacy ng nanalo. So it will put into question kung nanalo ba talaga siya or hindi. So ganun ang papel ng election observer groups. So pwede niyang patatagin yung claim ng nanalo. Pwede rin niyang sirain yung claim ng nanalo dun sa election.
Yes.
Based doon sa ating objective observation. Kaya dapat objective ang election observers. Dapat non-partisan ang election observers. Kasi pinapaniwalaan tayo. Election observation by domestic groups encourage civic involvement in the political process. Maraming volunteers sa Pilipinas, I have a feeling na maraming tao sa Pilipinas, ang una nilang volunteer experience is probably sa NAMFREL ng 1980s. So, yung mga groups na kagaya ng NAMFREL, we give opportunities for our fellow citizens na makialam, na sumama sa ganitong klaseng mga activities. So, yun nga, it encourages civic involvement sa political process. Kasi yung mga tao na, halimbawa, yung mga estudyante, they're on vacation, so sa halip na nandun lang sila sa bahay, then we can invite them to join us in NAMFREL at magiging mas makabuluhan yung summer nila. By the way, yan ang mangyayari ngayong susunod na eleksyon. So, in the last few elections kasi, nahirapan kami ng pag-recruit ng mga estudyante kasi di ba nag-iba yung school year? So ngayong susunod na eleksyon, I think tataon na bakasyon ng mga estudyante. So pwede ulit tayong mag-recruit ng mga estudyante for the coming election sa May 2025. Okay, following elections, reports and recommendations by observer groups can lead to changes and improvements in national law and practice. Again nga, so yung mga recommendations ng mga organization kagaya ng NAMFREL, ginagamit yan. Actually, pati nga yung NAMFREL, every now and then, ang NAMFREL iniimbita sa Senate at saka sa Congress pag-deliberate ng mga bills on electoral reform. Actually nga, meron ang schedule ngayon, pero hindi ko kami. So we're supposed to be in the Senate to discuss certain election-related issues. So yung mga sinasabi ng NAMFREL doon sa Senate at Congress, House of Representatives, based din po yan sa experience din ng mga volunteers. So yun pong aming mga, hindi po namin katang isip yung mga sinasabi ng NAMFREL doon sa Kongreso, galing po sa inyo. So these are based on hard observation evidence. Na nanggagaling sa inyo. Okay, so these are more information about election observation in general. So again, what are the goals of election observation? Engage citizens in the election process, deter fraud, expose problems, provide accurate, impartial measure of electoral integrity, mitigate electoral violence, promote confidence, and provide recommendations for recruitment. So kapag ang isang organization kagaya ng NAMFREL, kasi usually, ang unang tanong sa amin is, how did you find the elections? Tatanungin ng NAMFREL, ano sa tingin nyo ang nangyari doon sa election? Ano ang inyong parang assessment? So dalawa ang ating basis. Ang unang basis natin is, dapat consistent yung pagpapatakbo ng election doon sa mga national laws and procedures. So, ang COMELEC, so meron omnibus election code, meron mga resolutions sa COMELEC. Minsan napapansin namin, hindi nila nasusunod yung sarili nilang resolution, yung sarili nilang mga batas. So, isa yun sa basis kung paano natin masasabi na mataas ang kalidad ng election. Consistent ba siya dun sa mga batas ng bansa?
Self-service siya.
And then, pangalawa, consistent ba siya dun sa international at regional standards? Kasi kumbaga, hindi lang tayo, the Philippines doesn't exist na mag-isa. Meron tayong community of nations sa Asia and the United Nations. So tayo, meron tayong mga pinirmahan ng mga treaties with other countries or human rights documents. So ang pag-assess sa isang election should also look into how the elections, paano siya nag-adhere, paano niya sinunod yung mga batas na nire-recognize ng international community. So, again, this is very important sa international observation. So, halimbawa, Russia or China. Usually, wala nag-observe sa Russia at China kasi it's a waste of time. Kasi parang alam na natin na hindi yan magiging free and fair based on their the kind of government that they have. But there are some countries na pwede pa naman natin, meron pa, positive pa naman, pwede pa natin tingnan. So like for example, some countries in Eastern Europe na dating part ng Soviet Union, so ino-observe yan ng mga groups. Tinitingnan doon kung democratic ba yung patakbo or parang Russia din ang nangyari. So, dyan papasok yung adherence to international standards of elections. International election standards. Okay. So, lahat ng bansa na nag-i-election, there are certain things na we try to observe, we try to maintain in all our elections. So, ang ibabasahin ko na lang is yung mga hinighlight ko because for me, these are the most relevant at most important sa atin. So, ano ba yung international election standards? Ito yung tipo na kapag hindi mo ito nakita sa election natin sa Pilipinas, pwede mong sabihin hindi free and fair yung election. So number one, the right to vote must be universal, one person, one vote. There must be no limitation or discrimination. All eligible voters must be given the fair opportunity to vote in periodic elections. Siguro nabasa nyo yung mga naunang automated election, ang NAMFEL medyo nag-ingay kasi merong, ang tawag doon yung sa RMA, random manual audit, yung error something percentage. Margin of error. So may margin of error based doon sa pag-compare sa machine count, saka doon sa yung threshold na tinatawag. No. Yung 99 point something percent.
Accuracy.
Yung accuracy rate. So yung accuracy rate ng ating machine. Medyo nag-ingay ang NAMFEL, no? Nung tingin namin, masyadong mababa ang accuracy rate. So ang 99% ng accuracy rate ay hindi accurate. Kasi yung 1% doon, it represents people na hindi nabilang ang mga boto nila ng makina. So, ang NAMFED believes na ang boto ng bawat tao ay importante. Hindi pwedeng 99%, 95% is acceptable. That's not acceptable. Dapat 100. Kasi ibig sabihin, kung hindi 100% na accurate yung pagbilang ng makina, merong boto, it could be your vote, na hindi nasama sa bilangan, hindi nasama sa result. So elections must be periodic, held regularly, in predictable schedules. Dapat alam natin kung kailan yung susunod na eleksyon. Hindi kagaya ng barangay election na laging minumong based on convenience ng mga politiko. So yun, hindi yun sumusunod sa international standards. So ginagawa nila sa BSKE na kung kailan nilang gusto nilang gawin yun, i-move nila. So dapat alam natin kung kailan. So ang mga tao dapat alam nila na hanggang 3 taon ka lang, pero parang papalitan ka namin in 3 years. So, pero dapat, of course, sa mga kandidato din, dapat alam nila hanggang kailan yung term nila. Hindi yung pwede palang pakabahin, pwede palang paikiin, parang pinaglalaroan nila. Voting must take place by secret ballot. Voting centers and polling places must be accessible and ballots must be accurately recorded. Siguro self-explanatory. Pero yun lang. Medyo tayo. We make a big deal out of secrecy ng balota. So doon sa ating mga observation form, tinatanong natin, noong bang isinuot ng botante yung balota niya doon sa counting machine, siya lang ba nakakita o naka-display sa lahat? Kagaya nung nung nagka-problema yung mga counting machines nung nakarang eleksyon, ang sabi din sa mga botante, unfortunately they had to resort to that kasi wala na silang, hindi na nila alam kung gagawin. Ang sabi niya sa mga botante, pwede mo bang iwan nyo na lang ang mga balota nyo, kami na lang magsasaksak mamaya pag okay na yung machine. So, sa atin, sa NAMFED, na very much concerned about secrecy of the ballot, malaking red flag yun. Kasi hindi mo alam kung anong gagawin nila dito sa balota mo, isasaksak ba talaga nila yun? Ipapasok ba nila kung ang nakasulat doon hindi yung kandidato nila?
Hindi.
So yun eh. Kaya importante yung secrecy of the vote.
Sira yung masukan.
There must be an impartial and effective election administration that conducts its activities in an open manner. Meaning COMELEC yan. This includes counting and publicly reporting accurate election results. So hindi lang pagpipilang. So dapat lahat ng activities ng COMELEC bukas sa publiko, including halimbawa yung procurement ng makina, yung mga training nila, at kung ano-ano pa. Hindi lang po counting and canvassing ang activity ng COMELEC. So everything that ginagawa ng COMELEC, dapat bukas at least accredited citizens arms like NAMFED. Pero sana naman, kasi ito ginagawa ito ng COMELEC. Mag-i-invite nga sila sa NAMFED, pero papadala kami ng invitation the day before. meron silang activity sa Laguna, eh kami nasa Mandaluyong. Tapos magpapadala sila ng invitation kami sa amin for an event the very next morning. Gabi ipapadala sa amin. So parang sila nananadya ba itong mga to? Paano namin ma-observe yan? Kagaya nung a few weeks ago, ang COMELEC nagkaroon ng mock election. Ano ba? Voting simulation in a school. In the 2022 elections, nung ginawa nila yun, meron namang abiso sa amin ng mga a few weeks. Pero ngayon talaga the day before, so hindi kami nakapag-observe. The night before. But, watch out, so sa November, magkakaroon ng mock election ng COMELEC. So hindi pa namin alam kung saan. Malamang merong barn doon. Pero malamang...
Tawi-tawi.
Pero hindi lang po namin alam kung saan sa barn. Kasi... Ay, ganun po? Magpaka-mock election sa Tawi-Tawi. Okay, sige. But that's going to be in November. So kung mayroon pong gagawin dito sa Cotabato, so baka timblihan namin si Sir Rochi pa na mag-observe. All political parties and candidates must be equitably treated by legal provisions governing campaign finances and expenditures. So dapat mag-a-apply sa lahat ng political parties yung mga campaign finance rules, hindi yung tipong stricto sila sa mga maliliit na political parties, pero grabe ang advertisement ni Camille Villar sa ABS-CBN. Si Camille Villar na artistahin.
Ginator.
Citizen organizations must be able to participate in the electoral process to help educate other citizens about the importance of the elections. It must be free to monitor every aspect of the electoral process, to voter education. And the legal framework should define penalties for specific electoral exercises. So ito yung accountability na sinasabi ko kanina. Lahat ng violations sa election dapat na iparusa. At sana naman napaparusahan talaga. Hindi ko na lang ito versus domestic election observation. Of course, yung ginagawa natin sa atin sa number na yung domestic. Pag election, you might see people from embassies and mga puti or other Asian countries coming. So sila yung tinatawag na international observers. Limited ang kanilang number at iba rin yung kanilang mission. Kumbaga iba yung kanilang deployment, iba yung tinitingnan nila, hindi kagaya ng sa atin. Mas detailed ang ating pagtingin compared sa kanila. Kasi they have limited resources, limited number of people. Okay, kailan ba nagsimula yung election observation? So, ang mga unang nag-observe ng election ay mga European governments. So, in-observe nila nagpadala sila ng observers noong 1857 doon sa election sa Moldova and Wallachia na naging Romania. So, that's in Eastern Europe. Naging uncommon ito until after World War II. So, after World War II talaga nagkaroon ng election observation. Pero again, it's governments observing other governments. So, ito was in 1962. Nag-invite ang Costa Rica sa kanilang mga other countries in the American states to send government observers, basically in Costa Rica, to observe the 1962 elections. And then, yung international citizen election observation, naging widespread yan in the 1990s after the collapse of the Soviet Union. So yan talaga, dyan talaga dumami yung election observation all over the world. In parallel with the global spread of democratization. So nung nag-breakdown yung Soviet Union, ang daming states na kailangang mag-adjust into democracy. So nandoon ang election observers to assist them in those baby steps towards democratization. So some international election monitoring organizations, UNFRED and DNI Factor Center, IRI. ISA is in Africa, OSCE is in Europe. Pero kung lumaganap ito ng 1990s, kailan ba talaga nag-start yung citizen election observation? Pag sinabing citizen election observation, hindi gobyerno ang nag-observe, kundi tayo, mga tao. So I have a very outdated data. So in 2015, which was almost 10 years ago, in 2015, there were 104 countries kung saan merong domestic election observation groups. 15 years before that, in 2000, there were only 63 countries. Can you believe it? In 1990, there were only 20 countries na mayroong election observers. In 1983, there was only one. Oh, di ba? Sino pang volunteer na niya noong 1980s? Sila, Sir, the conception. Okay. Kayo po? Saan po kayo nag-volunteer? Saan? That was this is what. Anong year po yan? 1980? 1980. Nagsimula ko mag-observe ang number ng 1984. Batasan pa matay sa
Baka 1986, snap.
baka po 84. Yun ang unang-unang number observation. Okay. Sige po. Estudyante ka sa natin. Okay. Yan, bigyan niya ng jacket si Mas. Kinajoke niya. Nakatingin sa akin si Jose. So, last year po, nag-celebrate ang number ng 40th anniversary. Palakpakan naman. And actually, this month, we celebrated October, but according sa history book, sa mga articles na nabasa ko, September actually ang anniversary ng NAMFREMS, hindi October. So this month is our 41st year. Election observation by non-partisan organizations. Okay, so ito na, papasok na tayo sa NAMFREM. So bawat organization kagaya ng NAMFREM, meron tayong criteria na sinusunod. Ano bang hinahanap natin sa isang tao para maging volunteer? But it varies per organization. But for NAMFREL, nakasulat dito, hindi ko mabasa, 15 years old and above, willing to donate time and energy to a lifetime cause, the preservation of democracy, and ready to sacrifice for love of country. Malalim, di ba? Pero kailangan ganyan kalalim eh. If you believe that democracy comes through hard work and continuing vigilance, if you believe that the work of each Filipino goes beyond elections, if you believe that a clean, honest government can only come from the united effort of its citizenry, and if you believe that a clean, honest government can bring about a better life for you and your children, then join NAMFREL. Yan ang nakalagay sa website natin. Ito 19 kopong-kopong pa, but it still applies today. Wala yung electoral cycle. Mamaya pa yun. So, ang election is a cycle. Mayroong pre-election, election day, and post-election. So, bawat cycle ng isang election, meron tayong iba't ibang klaseng volunteers. Pero doon sa mga provincial chapters, usually, nagko-concentrate lang tayo sa election day observation. Pero at the national level, meron kaming mga tinatap every now and then na volunteers. So for example, sa pre-election, merong recruiters, trainers, logistics, finance, technology experts. So ngayon, ito yung ginagawa namin sa national level. We are coordinating with these kinds of volunteers. Um, at the national level, nagagamitin natin for election day. Kagaya ng finance. At saka yung technology. Yan. For election day, of course, meron tayong mga voting center at polling place observers. So, yung mga numbered volunteers dito na-experience niya maging ganyan. Observer coordinators, kagaya ni na Sir Jojo, kagaya ng ating mga chairpersons, they were coordinators and chairpersons of NAPREL. Meron tayong mga roving field observers, so yung mga volunteers na hindi naka-assign sa isang presinto lang, nag-iikot sila, nagko-coordinate ng mga polling place observers. And then meron tayong mga volunteers sa HQ. So it could be national HQ, it could be the provincial HQ. And others, so marami, ito mga klase yan. Post-election, usually, hindi natin ito pag ganong natatap. Pero, kung sinabi kasi yung post-election, ang activities usually dyan is yung pagpapasa ng mga SOSE. So, yan yung isa sa mga activities during post-election period. Okay, basahin nyo lang po ito. So, this is a reference, a document for organizations like NAFRED, yung Declaration of Global Principles for Non-Partisan Election Observation and Monitoring by Citizen Organizations. So, na-take up ko na naman po yung iba na sinasabi yan. Let me just discuss this. These are important items na nakasulat dito sa Code of Conduct. So meron tayong tinatawag na Code of Conduct for Non-Partisan Citizen Election Observers and Monitors. Dapat ito susundin ito natin lahat. Some of the most important ones, maintain strict non-partisanship by remaining politically neutral in all activities concerning the election process. Number two, work independently of government in support of a genuine democratic election process. So hindi lang tayo independent from political parties, we should also be independent of the government. And then, mga hinaight ko lang ang aking babasahin. Help to safeguard the rights of voters and prospective voters to exercise their electoral choice freely and without improper discrimination, unreasonable restrictions, interference, or intimidation. And then help to safeguard with strict impartiality the rights of political contestants to be elected. We should fight for the right of candidates to be to make themselves known, to be able to participate equally, hindi lang yung mga kagaya ng mga incumbents. Report impartially, accurately, and timely all observations and findings, both positive and negative, with sufficient documentation. Importante po sa amin, lalo na yung tinatawag na incident reports. So, pag sinabing incident reports, may mga incidents of violence and intimidation na nangyayari sa inyong lugar. Meron po tayong form para dyan. Pero for that form to be effective, we need sufficient information. Kung pwede may documentation. Kagaya na sinabi ni Sir dito, no documentation is as important as your safety. So kung sa tingin ninyo is you will risk your life in taking a certain photo, don't do it. Mas importante ang buhay. And then provide sufficiently high quality training for all observers and monitors. We strive to do this. Isa kasi problema natin masyadong minsan nalilate na yung ating pag-recruit. So wala nang training na nangyayari at the local level kasi ang napansin namin in reality is mahirap mag-recruit ng volunteers. Usually, volunteers get recruited the week before the election. So, wala naman time. Usually, kasi doon lang talaga tumataas yung interest ng mga tao ng volunteers. Malapit na. So, yun ang gusto rin natin i-improve sa NAFRED. Sana mas matagal yung process na yan. Non-partisanship. Ito yung pinaka-importante sa lahat. para maging non-partisan or citizen election observers like NAPRE. Non-partisan means the actions and objectives do not favor or oppose any candidate or political party. Non-partisan election monitoring organizations are more interested in the process, not in the results. Pag nag-observe tayo, wala tayong ganang pakialam kung sino nanalo. Ang pakialam natin is, nakuha ba niya yung panalo na yun ng tama? Malinis ba yung proseso ng election? Yun ang importante sa atin, not really who won. Non-partisan election observers watch for wrongdoing by anyone involved and can help address problems in real time. So partisan observation is not enough to generate the trust that elections are being conducted fairly. Importante din po yung mga watchers ng political parties kasi nagpapantayan sila. So importante din yun. For this to be really effective, dapat it's a concerted effort ng political party watchers at ng mga citizen observers like NAMPRE to improve our electoral process. Ito na pala. So election observation, what should we look out for? So again, election is a process, election cycle siya, hindi siya election date only. May pre-election period, election day, and post-election period. Anong tinitingnan sa pre-election period? So yung pre-election period, halimbawa for the 2025 elections, ang pre-election period started in 2022 until the week before election day. Yan ang pre-election. Napakahaba po niyan na panahon. Actually, ito para sa akin, ito yung pinakamahirap na ginagawa ng NAPRE. Kasi ito usually, parang, at tapos yung ginagawa pa namin dito, yung ginagawa pa ng NAPRE dito, parang hindi gano'n napapansin. Napapansin lang tayo dun sa election week. Pero some of the things na tinitingnan natin na binabantayan kapag pre-election period, yung legal framework, yung mga batas. During the pre-election period, dyan nagkakaroon ng mga discussions sa Senate at saka sa House of Representatives kung saan naiimbita ang NAPRE for discussion. Planning and implementation. So, sa COMELEC ito, yung mga budget, funding, election calendar. COMELEC usually conducts this mga focus group discussion, round table discussion. So we try to attend all of those. Basta bigyan kami ng invitation. Training and education. So dyan, ginagawa ng COMELEC yung pag-train dun sa mga teachers, to be EVs, sa mga technical staff. Diyan din pumapasok yung civic education and voter information. So of course, ang NAPRE meron ding trabaho in line with this. So yan yung ating social media efforts, especially during the pre-election period. Registration. So during the pre-election period, dyan ginagawa ng COMELEC ang voter registration. By the way, ang voter registration ay hanggang September 30 na lang for the 2025 election. So, kung meron po kayong kilala na hindi pa rehistrado, they only have several weeks to do it. Huwag nang maghintay ng last week, tapos papagalitan yung COMELEC. Electoral campaign, wala pa tayo dito, so this will come in the next few months. Magkakaroon na ng campaign officially kasi may nagka-campaign na si Camille Villar. Nagka-campaign na sa DG. Unfortunately, hindi siya pwede patigilin kasi hindi pa siya candidate. So, yun. Unfortunately. That's how it works. Okay, so this is just more detailed activities doon sa iba-ibang phases ng election. Okay, ito pala. Basahin ko na lang din. So, some major activities. So, ang nandoon sa taas, major activities ng COMELEC. And then, ano yung i-observe ng NAPRE during these activities? So, halimbawa, sa registration of voters, political parties and candidates, anong tinitingnan ng Citizens Army? Anong tinitingnan ng organizations like us? Ano ba yung criteria na ginamit for eligibility to vote? Meron bang political possible disenfranchisement dahil sa mga kung ano-ano requirements. Nagkaroon ba ng intimidation or pananakot preventing potential voters to register? May halimbawa, alam ng mga politicians na yung isang barangay buboto dun sa kalaban niya, so baka naman takutin niya yung mga yun para hindi sila makapag-rehistro. So kasama yun sa mga pwede nating patayan. And then yung transparency ng voter registration process, nababantayan ba yung voter registration? Baka naman, kasi minsan di ba may mga towns na bakit merong isang bus na dumating na may mga taong hindi namin kilala pero nag-register sila sa COMELEC namin. So may mga ganon. And then recruitment ng training at polling staff, dyan din nangyayari. So importante dyan whether enough polling staff are being hired, including backups. Yeah. Tapos yung polling staff, may naka-receive ba sila ng bayad, tamang bayad para sa kanila. But usually malalaman natin yun pag election day na. Civic and voter education, okay, basahin nyo na lang po doon sa presentation, medyo mahaba po itong part na to. But this will help you kung if you feel to be more active during the pre-election period. Meron kasi tayong mga chapters na aktibo talaga kahit pre-election period, kagaya ng ating chapter sa Cagayan de Oro. So tinitingnan nila itong mga bagay na ito. Election campaign, hindi ko pala. This will come in the next few months. Isa sa mga binabantayan ng NAMREL at the national level is the procurement. Si Jeff yun, siya yung umupo sa procurement observation ng NAMREL. So, tinitingnan ng NAMREL dyan is whether the correct procedures for procurement are followed, whether the bidding process and awarding of contracts are fair and transparent, whether the laws regarding the system to be procured are followed, at kung ano-ano pa. And then darating din tayo dyan sa printing of ballots. Hindi ba nag-print ng ballots ano? Yeah. Hindi pa.
Next year pa yun.
Early next year pa. Election day. So, of course, anong tinitingnan ng number of observers sa election day? Voting operations, voting, vote counting, special external voting, verification ng results, yung pagtatabulate pa ng results ay tama, yung official results, saka ano pa yung mga complaints and appeals na nangyari. So kung voting, pag sinabing voting on election day, so nandyan yung counting din ng results, tabulation, retrieval ng ballots and other election materials, and consolidation of results. And then yung adherence to correct procedures, fraud at saka theft. May pagnanakaw pa. Dati, ginagawa ba yun yung, di ba nangyari, dito ba yun sa bar na kinuha yung vote counting machine na tinapon sa ilog? Dito ba yun? May ganun po may mga ganung issue noon. Kaya may sinunod ng classroom, may mga ganun Election environment, tinitingnan din po natin yan. So ano yung mga incidents ng violence and irregularities na nangyayari dito sa paligid ng voting centers. And then post-election period, ang involvement ng numbers sa post-election period is mainly yung random manual audit ng mga makina. And then we tried dati na i-observe yung pagpasa ng SOSE, pero sobrang konti po ang nagpasa na parang wala kaming may report. Sa post-election naman, ito usually ginagawa din ito ng mga international observers. Reaction ng stakeholders doon sa proseso at sa final results. So ano ba ang naging tingin ng mga tao doon sa community doon sa nangyaring election? And then, meron din pong second-hand or third-hand information for validation on possible violations committed ng ibang stakeholders like yung mga candidates at saka even security personnel.
adjudication of election complaints. Hindi na ito gaano napafollow ng ating mga NAMFEL chapters, but this is something that we can do in the future. Yung pag-follow doon sa mga election complaints. Campaign finance, we try to follow this, but unfortunately, ang problema po is hindi nagko-cooperate karaniwan ang mga kandidato. Hindi kami rin nabibigyan ng documents para ma-review namin kung nagpasa ba talaga lahat ng SOSE. So ano yung mga tools na ginagamit ng election observers sa pag-observe ng election? So number one, paper observation forms and checklists. So kung naging number volunteer na po kayo, familiar na sa inyo itong ating number observation form. Mamayang hapon po, magkakaroon tayo ng practice. Meron tayong workshop. Magsasagot kayo ng observation. Siyempre, kailangan din natin ng mga telepono, like landline and mobile, lalo na doon sa mga lugar na 4G, so importante pa rin yung ating mga murang telepono. Hindi na gano'ng ginagamit ang may nag-SMS ko ba? Konti na naman. Puro messenger na. And then SMS, messaging, mobile internet. Yan, ito yung pinaka-importante din sa atin ngayon. Yung ating observation, we really encourage our number of observers na sa halip na gumamit ng papel, yung telepono na. So, usually nagbibigay kami sa observers ng option na kung gusto niyo gumamit ng papel, ito po yung form. Pero kung magsasagot kayo ng form, pwede niyo po mag-picturean or yung status padala niyo sa akin para ma-record namin kagad. Pero yun namang Google, yun namang sa telepono, real time. Pagkapindot niyo ng send, tanggap namin yan sa HQ. So, bago po matapos yung election day or yung plebiscite, alam na namin kung anong nangyari sa inyong lugar based sa inyong observations. Nakita niyo dyan, meron din po tayong NAMFERL app na nirelease nung last election. So we hope to be able to use yung NAMFERL app again in tabulating the results. Pero we are waiting for the COMELEC to officially tell the public that the QR code na ilalagay nila sa resibo ng doon yung resibo doon sa makina will include the results already. Kasi kung ganun po, then pwede natin gamitin yung ating NAMFERL app pag-tabulate. Of course, napaka-importante po ng social media, lalo na po sa voter education, saka po sa recruitment. Ano bang last slide ko? So marami akong diniscuss na kailangan gawin or kailangan magkaroon ng isang NAMFEL volunteer, ng isang election observer. So, in summary, ano ba talaga kailangan ng isang observer, election observer? Number one, dapat sharp ang inyong senses. Magaling ang inyong mata, ang inyong pandinig. Ang pang-amoy nyo rin. You need to have sharp senses kasi kung hindi, marami kayong hindi makuhuli. Dapat meron kayong ganung instinct. Number two, knowledge of rules and procedures related to the process being observed. Kung hindi nyo alam kung ano yung rules dun sa eleksyon, paano nyo masasabi na hindi sumunod sa rules? Kaya we also make it a point na before the election day, kapag available na from the COMELEC, pinapadala namin kayo ng mga resolutions. We also make it more available to people kasi minsan may habit ang website ng COMELEC na nagka-crash bago mag-election. So ginagawa namin, dina-download namin yung mga resolution, nilalagay namin sa ibang website ng NAMFEL para ma-download din ng iba. And then ability to document observations accurately. Ako, ito na. Ito ang medyo nakakaiyak minsan kasi okay, magaling kayong mag-observe, matapang kayo. Pero kung hindi nyo maisulat ng
tama at complete yung inyong observation dun sa forms, paano namin malalaman kung ano yung inyong observation? So ito siguro, lalo na dun sa mga coordinator po sa mga chairperson, mukhang dito natin talaga dapat i-train yung ating mga volunteers. Kasi minsan may nare-receive po kami papel, walang laman, may pangalan po, walang laman. O marami pong question na hindi sinagot. Sayang naman po. Kasi lalo na kung marami silang observation, hindi kailangan mag-English, kaya yun po namin gagawin namin Tagalog. Isulat nyo lang, kahit lingwahe ninyo locally, kung hindi yung kayo makapag-express in full Tagalog or English, isulat nyo sa inyong lingwahe, magpapatranslate natin yan. Basta importante, kung meron kayong observation, sabihin nyo lang sa amin. Next is ability to submit observations to coordinator in a timely manner. Okay, so nasagutan nyo nga yung form. Pero 5 araw sa inyo yung form. Hindi nyo pa agad sinabit sa inyong coordinator o kaya sa inyong chapter chair. So parang sayang yung panahon na sana is makatagawa tayo ng statement regarding to sa inyong observations is na-delay ng konti kasi wala pa kami natatanggap. And then, very important, meron kayo dapat na sense of what is right, fair, and just. Alam nyo ang tama. Alam nyo din ang mali. At nararamdaman nyo yun. Pumupulo ang dugo nyo pag may nakikita kayong mali. So, doon na po namin yan ibibigay yung responsibility niya sa mga chapter chairs and coordinators. We trust naman that you are choosing your volunteers very carefully. Okay po, thank you. Meron po ba kayong tanong? Time check.